Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting, captivating, stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What item will I be unboxing? What item will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What item is encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now, so bear with me. It will only take me billions of picoseconds to extract the item from the box and subsequently flaunt it in front of the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. Here we go. The unboxing process is about to commence. The unboxing process is officially underway. What item have I prompted? What item have I drawn forth? Let's find out. This figurine is known by the moniker of Exodia Necross. Is Exodia Necross a paradigm of perfection? Is Exodia Necross the embodiment of resounding perfection? Is Exodia Necross the epitome of perfection? That's subjective. You could assess this figurine's merits down to the nitty-gritty details to determine whether or not he warrants a premium price. I believe that he vindicated a premium price. I'm an avid, devout Yu-Gi-Oh fan, therefore I have a proclivity to procure Yu-Gi-Oh merchandise. He was churned out by Mattel amid the early 2000s, or possibly in the latter half of the 1990s. He's over a decade old. Has he depreciated? Let's find out. I procured him via eBay. Here are his chains that confine him. Here's his body. The torso is hefty. The thighs are a bit hollow inside. What a bummer, right? I need to assemble him. That's pivotal. Here's another chain. Alrighty. So far I have a myriad of appendages. Here's his face. A hand. Everything's being dispersed throughout my room. I need to amalgamate the pieces together so that I can summon Exodia Necross, the Forbidden One. Is Exodia Necross notorious? Is he sadistic? Is he coercive? Is he malicious? Is he cunning? Is he conniving? I do not know. His lore is an enigma. He's impervious to monster attacks, monster effects, magic cards, and trap cards. Every time he attacks a monster, I believe his attack prowess is amplified by 1,000 points. Here's the skirt. Even the Forbidden One has style. Here are more of his body parts. I'm actually going to assemble him right now in a jiffy. Just bear with me. The box is now devoid of its contents and can be relegated to the trash. It can be consigned to the trash. This box is scarce. You seldomly come by it. You will likely never stumble upon this box in real life, nor a box akin to this one. I do not need the box to harbor mold. I'm not going to retain it. I'm going to decimate it. I'm going to ravage it. I have the figurine. I don't need the box to clutter my room. I love the artwork though. This is my last chance to scrutinize the box before I discard it. Alrighty. I believe Exodia Necross utilizes the same mold as Exodia Deluxe model kit. I believe that this Exodia Necross Deluxe model kit stands 11.25 inches tall, nearly 1 foot tall. It came with an instruction manual. I'm not sure if I have it. I may have to scour the box to find it. I want to see how he looks as one cohesive figurine. Alrighty, so here we have the instruction booklet. It's much more complex than the Chucky doll instruction booklet. The Chucky doll is right behind me. I'm not sure if you can see him. You most likely can, unless you're blind. Here's the Chucky doll instruction booklet. You could trigger his voice commands via the button embedded in his back. Exodia Necross style is a lot more cumbersome to apprehend. Why do I say this? Well, my vision is abysmal. My vision is perpetually withering away. My vision is beginning to atrophy. My visual prowess is perpetually diminishing. Therefore, it's arduous for me to discern the text and clearly see the pictures. I can utilize my glasses to augment my visual prowess if deemed necessary. In this context, it may be. So, let's start off with the legs. Here's 1 foot. This is actually going to take a while. So we have 2 feet thus far. And now I need the other body parts. I detest the fact that he's not pre-assembled. I'm not fond of assembling figurines. I prefer to flaunt them on my shelves and not forge them myself. I'm not sure if this is intact. Doesn't seem as though it is. This is going to be a nightmare, by the way. I hope the calves are placed on correctly. If not, his whole body will collapse. I need to retrieve his thighs. I hope his pelvis is not shoddy. I hope that none of the body parts are shoddy. I think I made a blunder. I'm not doing this correctly. One flaw culminates in figure falling apart. Alrighty, let's try this again. This is a nightmare. I'm not sure why this is not working. Alrighty. All the pieces are numbered, but I don't have their numbers on me, which is an issue. So I can't discern which piece corresponds to which number. I just have to guess at this point. I got this item used, by the way, not new. He was selling new on eBay for $104.50. The used price was $103. So I forgoed procuring the new one in order to buy the antiquated used one, in order to save $1.50. That money could be earmarked towards another purchase on eBay. I'm striving to slide the chains in to this piece without causing them to succumb to scuffs. I don't want to damage my pieces. I can't afford to replace them. Assembling Exodia Necross is going to be the greatest calamity of my day. This figurine tickles my fancy. This figurine eminently appeases me. However, it's a nightmare to assemble. I'm striving to assemble it in a manner where it doesn't succumb to any scuffs, scratches, dings, or dents. Oh, if I said manner earlier, I meant to say matter. Sorry about the blunder. I guess those words mixed up sometimes. Alrighty. We have 4 chains. I'm just contemplating which ones I should utilize. Alright, let me try the other foot. This could take me forever to assemble, especially if I'm trying to do so without ravaging any piece. If a piece is scratched down to the modicum, it would agitate me, it would infuriate me, it would invoke my anger, so I don't want to be imbued with rage. Therefore I'm striving to preclude another calamitous situation from being brought to fruition. I want to safeguard my figurines. I need to find the foot. Alright, here we go. Alrighty. Let me see something real briefly. Maybe this will work. Alright, I was able to maneuver it in. I think I have to do it sideways. Here we go. I need to maneuver it in sideways. Once it's oriented sideways, and I can press onward. and proceed to the subsequent steps. It's always easier said than done. It's a real hassle to do this. I do everything on camera for my target market. I need to eminently appease them. Who else is going to, right? Who else do you know that creates videos appertaining to Exodia and Necross? Alrighty. His chains are finally bound. At least 2 of them are. I don't want to rush this process because I can't afford to replace this item. So I apologize about that in advance. I can't be reckless in this context. Alrighty, let me just refer to the instruction manual. I can expedite the process if I utilize the instruction manual. Alrighty. I think I can maneuver this lower leg piece in. I hope that nothing's defective. If it is, then I won't be able to rectify the calamity. Alrighty, I managed to snug this piece in. The peg has been inserted into the peg hole. What a nightmare. This is almost as bad as a Nightmare on Elm Street. The excruciating agony is unbearable. I'm just exaggerating. This process is not very daunting. It's distressing, to say the least, but I've undergone far worse situations, or far more stress-inducing situations. Come on. This is not inserted in properly. Alrighty, seems to be sufficient now. Hopefully the joints are all tight. I don't want the integrity of this figurine to become compromised post being assembled. So here we have the illustrious, revered, renowned Exodia Necross legs that need to be connected to the pelvis post being fully assembled. Alright, this piece should be... oh crap. I hope I didn't crack anything. That's why you can't do everything in an expeditious manner. I should say, let me revamp that. That's why you can't do everything in an expeditious manner. One blunder will culminate in your figurine becoming decimated. Okay, here we go. This one fits in. There's a slot. Even though it's unstable, it still connects. I think part of the plastic chipped off, so the thigh is loose. This is an issue. These are poorly made. These model kits are shoddy. I love their aesthetics, but they're susceptible to easily becoming ravaged. I hope I wasn't connecting the wrong piece earlier. Well, maybe I was. Those are the repercussions pertaining to not utilizing an instruction manual. I'm just swiftly looking at it. I'm not utilizing it to efficaciously guide me through this process. Alrighty, here we go. I need to insert the thigh onto the leg. I wonder why it's not connecting. Maybe this piece is defective. There's always an issue. Actually, I got an idea. One is I just refer to the cover art of the box. It's too bad I didn't receive a new. Had I received a new, it would have been much easier to assemble. All the pieces would have been numbered, so I could have matched them up with an instruction booklet. I just received an exorbitant amount of random pieces, and I'm trying to meticulously assemble him without ravaging the pieces. Trying to do everything gingerly, but my efforts have been to no avail. I think I've damaged one piece thus far. Or maybe the piece arrived damaged. They probably arrived damaged. I've been maneuvering the joints together gingerly and not recklessly, so if something doesn't work, it's likely not my fault. In this context, I'm still flustered about how to assemble him. This process is unequivocally burdensome. Why would I deem it to be a burden? Well, it's a real hassle. This is why I would never buy Legos again, even if I could afford them. I don't want to be trifled with assembling something that could potentially come pre-assembled. It's just an inconvenience. I prepare all my meals, but that's the extent of the physical creation aspect of my life. I have to physically create my vegan meals. However, I shouldn't have to physically assemble this model. I could have arrived pre-assembled, especially considering that it's used and not new. I love his spikes that are protruding out of his torso, or protruding out of his shoulders. We'll see where they go. I'm unsure how to attach these spikes. I should just concede to utilizing the instruction manual. That will likely aid me significantly. I would just prefer to do everything without referring to the instruction booklet, but it may be asinine of me. It may bear long-term repercussions that are irreversible. If any piece becomes defective, then he can't be a cohesive figurine. So I need to be careful. I need to be diligent. I need to be prudent. I need to be wary. I need to be risk adverse. I have a hunch that I'm assembling him incorrectly, but we'll find out what transpires in the pending future. If I made any blunders, it's not without costs, it's not without ramifications, it's not without deleterious repercussions that are potentially irreversible. Alright. I just want to utilize my intuition and leverage my ingenuity to help me accomplish this task of assembling the Forbidden One. With a counterpart of the Forbidden One. Alrighty, so apparently he has arm articulation. Unfortunately, he cannot swivel his biceps. His arms are locked in. I think I need to remove his head. It's precluding me from putting on his shoulder pads or his shoulder guards. These are massive. He's like a tank. He can take a copious amount of damage and survive any battle. He's invincible as long as Exodia's body parts are dormant in the graveyard. He's resilient. He's zealous. He's impervious to death. Nothing can stop the legendary, meritorious, renowned, deadly Exodia Necross. Is he stoic? Is he heroic? I did not know. I do know that he is stoic. I retract my previous statement. It's arduous to inflict any damage against him. Or I guess you could say it's arduous to inflict any damage on him. Alrighty, I'm unsure why this shoulder pad is not working. I think it's partially defective. Seem to have chipped mid the transportation process. That's an issue. Hopefully it won't be enough to inhibit me from assembling him. If it is, then I need to contact the seller and take recourse and see what I can do. A chip amid the transportation process culminates in the figurine becoming defective. I'm gonna remove the other shoulder pad and just compare and contrast the two. One is slightly curved, the other one is not. These peg holes are not akin to one another. One of them is slightly chipped and has become blunt. So we'll try this one final time. This insert is defective, so that's a salient issue right there. Due to it being partially chipped, I can't slide the shoulder blade into it. Alrighty. I revoke my previous statement. Pegs have been inserted into the peg holes. Since the pegs have been inserted into the peg holes, I can now utilize the shoulder pads, even if they're more apt to fall off, since one of the inserts is slightly chipped. At least he's somewhat assembled. Alrighty. Let's move on, shall we? Let's see. Let's assemble his arms real quick. Alright, let's try this one final time. Okay. Let's attach the thighs to the pelvis. Doing this is always a real burden. pegs are not fitting into the peg holes. I'm being brutally honest with everyone, including myself. I can't be deluded and believe that this model kit works when it's presently not working. I should just refer to the instruction manual. I concede I'm having trouble building it without the utilization of the instruction manual. So let's see where the instruction manual is. Alrighty. My unorthodox approach to building Exodia Necross model kit should never be utilized. It's not a pragmatic solution. I can't give up, I can't concede. Alrighty, there we go. At least one of the thighs was partially attached, which doesn't mean much, but it's better than nothing, right? If I can't assemble him, then my purchase was in vain. It's all about the end result. Do you concur with me, or do you staunchly disagree? Alrighty. Unfortunately, the pegs are not fitting into the corresponding peg holes. What a calamity, right? These pieces are not numbered either. You're better off buying these Malachus new as opposed to used. I was about to say used, but you're better off spending the extra couple dollars so that you know which piece corresponds to which number. You may not be able to discern that information if you buy the model kit used via eBay or Amazon. Alrighty, so at least one arm is attached, which is better than before. I need to remove the pelvis so that I could attach the skirt. He's never going to be disassembled. I can guarantee you that. Once I have him assembled, he's going to remain that way. Furthermore, who wants to deal with the calamity of putting him back together? It's a real nightmare. I'm Exodia out. Alrighty. Where's the other arm? Let's see if I can twist it into the peg hole. There it is. Unfortunately, to my dismay, it's not fitting in to the peg hole. There's definitely an issue here. Maybe I utilized the wrong piece. I don't think I did, but I can never be too sure. Oh, I did. This piece is not fitting in properly. This one, however, is. So at least the arms will be assembled now. That's a relief. I'm buoyant, I'm jubilant, I'm gratified, I'm content. He's halfway assembled. Oh damn. Oh my god. Didn't expect that to transpire. I used to keep a towel under my door, but unfortunately I don't anymore. I hope we didn't get scratched. I don't detect any major scratches. See for yourself. Plus, if he does get any scuffs or scratches, you could always paint them over. He's primarily black, so you can just buy black paint and cover any scratches or scuffs that he may have. I hope that acrylic black paint exists. The defective shoulder pad fell off. I paid over $100 for a model kit that's falling apart. He's very delicate and fragile. You can't really tamper with his joints. You can't really move him around too much. If you do, then he'll succumb to breaking him. Alrighty. Let's just put his legs together and then I can call it a day. Right. Wrong. I still have more videos to create. I still have essays to edit. I have a lot of work cut out for me. So this time period is supposed to be the riveting moment of my day. However, it's turning into an exacerbating nightmare. His joints are flying all over the place. The appendages are severed. They keep coming loose. They keep becoming loose, I should say. The crux of the issue is that he's taken ample time to assemble. I didn't anticipate him to take this long to assemble. I thought it would be a breeze, but apparently not. I guess I shouldn't really complain too much. I mean, he's arduous to stumble upon. I'm fortunate to have him. Right? He's not easy to come by any means. I'm sure that someone would purchase him for over $103 if I resold him, but I'm not going to do that. I bought him with intention of retaining him the rest of my life, so hopefully I can bring that dream to fruition, or vision to fruition, which is to retain my finite monetary assets and not relinquish them. Alrighty, let's try to put on one leg and then I can work on the subsequent one. Once the knee joint is connected, then I can move on. Alrighty, one leg has been assembled. One leg remains. Actually, perhaps I spoke too soon. I need to place these spikes on his body somewhere. I'm not sure where they're supposed to go. It's perplexing. I honestly have no clue. Doesn't really matter too much. Oh, I see. They're protruding out of his head. I love that novelty. It just augments and embellishes his appearance. It accentuates his physical prowess. It renders his appearance more intimidating. I love his facade. He looks poised for battle. He looks menacing. He looks infuriated. He will never waver. He will never capitulate. He will never yield. He'll always be a warrior that never surrenders. He doesn't know when to quit. He doesn't know when to throw in the towel. He only knows how to battle. He can survive any bout. He can ascertain victory against any adversary. He can trounce anyone within his vicinity. No foe can stand toe-to-toe with Exodia Necross. No one is on par with Exodia Necross. He will obliterate anyone that stands before him, that opposes him. Anyone he deems to be a threat is preordained to succumb to death. He's not a monster that other creatures shouldn't invoke the fury of. Everything is falling off. Perhaps I should have forgone utilizing the skirt. Alrighty. Unfortunately, most of the pieces aren't tightly connected. They really need to be secured. If not, they'll become severed. Alrighty, he's nearly assembled. I need the pieces to snap together. If not, they'll fall apart. If they're snapped together, then I'm good to go. Oh wow, he's nearly finished. Here he is as one cohesive. Actually, not yet. Spoke too soon. When I said not yet, I'm insinuating that he's not yet fully assembled. Let me place the final two pieces onto his head, and then I can flaunt him. Here's his head. There's this little blemish. Perhaps I can paint over it. So I need to secure the joints ensure that everything's snapped together later. It's okay for now, but I'll have to perform my due diligence later. I'm going to defer doing so now. You reap what you sow. His joints may not be fully locked in. Nonetheless, as long as he's stable in the short haul, that's what really matters at the moment. I just want to be able to flaunt him in front of the camera as one cohesive model. Alrighty, this is sufficient for now. This will have to suffice. So here's a model kit as one cohesive unit, or one cohesive figure. The appendages are all put together, they're all intact. He's in near mint condition, he's practically in pristine condition, he's practically unscathed, he's not marred with scratches, scuffs, dings, or dents. I love his aesthetics, I love his hues, I love his textures, I love his shadings. He's a high quality, robust model kit. Now, when I said he was shoddy earlier, I'm just implicitly referring to his insides. The pieces are a bit hollow, and because of that, they are lacking plastic filling. So, in one facet, he's shoddy if you were going to deem his merits to be based on how much plastic he's comprised of. However, if you look past the hollowness, if you look past the fact that you have to place all the appendages together, which renders them more apt to get decimated amid the assembling process, then this figurine is just stupendous. I would have preferred if there was plastic filling in his feet. I would have preferred if his joints and his appendages had more plastic, but it is what it is. He's relatively bulky, he's a bit heavy. Maybe they minimize plastic in certain areas. He's devoid of plastic in certain areas. Maybe they did so in order to cut costs and in order to render him less heavy. He's pretty hefty. He's colossal. He weighs seemingly over 5 pounds, so he's not a lightweight in the context of an action figure. I love this novel figurine. I'm gratified. I'm content with my purchase and decision. I have no qualms about it, even though I spent $103. I love his chains. They just accentuate his epicness. I love his muscle tones. I love his abs. I love his biceps. He can articulate his arms. He can't really articulate his legs. He can't perform an ankle pivot. He can't perform an ab crunch. He can't really rotate his head. His head rotation is encumbered by his shoulder pads. His shoulder pads can't really be adjusted, so his articulation is finite, is practically non-existent. However, he's more of a display piece. If you're an avid devout Yu-Gi-Oh fan, then this figurine will likely eminently appease you. If you detest and disdain the Yu-Gi-Oh series, then you may want to desist from buying this figurine. I doubt you'll stumble upon him anytime in the near future. You can frequently refresh eBay. It's unlikely that you'll find him on eBay, and if you do manage to stumble upon him, he'll likely command an exorbitant, hefty, premium, staggering price of over $100, so he's rendered unaffordable. I do love this figurine, however. I have Exodia. I've yet to unbox a model of Exodia. I will do that in a subsequent video, so stay tuned for that. So I'm glad that my unboxing endeavors culminated in success. Cohesively, this figurine is unbelievable, but if you don't have all the parts, then his intrinsic value is compromised. He doesn't have as much merit when he's severed as opposed to when he's a cohesive figurine. So here he is once again. I really am ecstatic and floored and gratified. Why do I say this? Why am I exhilarated? Well, I now have the chance to take a gander at Exodia Necross every day of my finite life. I just love this character. He's so efficacious in melee combat. He's so potent in melee combat. He's so deadly in melee combat. He's so stoic. He has a temerity to trounce anyone that stands before him. Anyone within his proximity will be obliterated. I'm exhausted, I'm fatigued, I'm debilitated, I'm lethargic, and I'm weary, so I need to end this video, get some water, rehydrate myself, and eat food and take calories before I further wither away and before I become more famished. So once again, here's a figurine. You can examine him, you can meticulously scrutinize him down to the nitty-gritty details. If you do, you'll be able to unequivocally determine that he's in near mint condition. I know he's exposed to the elements now. I know he's eroding and depreciating and withering away, but it doesn't really matter. I buy my figurines with the intention of utilizing them, so overall this Exodia Deluxe model kit is just unbelievable. It's ineffable. I can't elucidate how epic it is from the perspective of a devout, avid Yu-Gi-Oh fan. If you revel in bearing witness to the Yu-Gi-Oh series, then this figurine will likely satisfy you to the nth degree. When do you concur with me? Perhaps, perhaps not. Who knows? Your sentiments appertaining to this model kit are an enigma. They're unforeseeable. I hope that you loved this video. I hope that you deemed it to be enthralling and insightful. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.